night walks alone in a blessed wood. Tree branches bathed in golden light parting gently before him. The distant cries of songbirds tell him he is close. And when at last he emerges onto the glade, he sees the lake's surface is calm and clear. The early autumn sky reflected in perfect detail upon it. Nearby, 2 milk-white fawns drink peacefully, unaware or uncaring of his approach. He removes his helm, the ornate blue and gold swan upon its crown now nuzzled firmly in his plate-covered arm as he makes for the statue. As if in a trance, his vision tunnels, the sounds of the glade dimming save for the rattle of his armor, as if the world has ceased to be, and only he and her remain. There she stands, he thinks, looking down upon me, her moss-covered marble a beautiful if melancholic sight, for his heart longs for more than symbols. It is before her he kneels, placing both his great helm and sword on the ground just beneath her carved feet. With a bowed head, he utters but 2 words. My lady. A wind passes suddenly through the trees, through the rings of his mail, and up to his ears. And though nothing speaks aloud, he feels as though she has answered, and his heart swells. Tonight, he thinks, I will win a great victory, for I am a knight of the lady, and she has answered my plea. Drawing obvious inspiration from the Arthurian figure, Warhammer's Lady of the Lake is an important symbol to the peoples of Bretonnia, a goddess of purity and courage, who represents everything the nobility of the land strive to be, and for whom the peasants toil to appease. For though they may be lowly to their noble masters, and indeed to the lady herself, they are still of the peoples of Bretonnia, the lady's chosen, who above all other races of men, she selected for her divine purpose. Unlike most of Warhammer's gods, the lady is generous with her appearance, showing herself to her knights and damsels to instruct and to bless them on their quests. Appearing as a youthful woman, clad in immaculate white and beautiful beyond compare, she in many ways is more than just the symbol of Bretonnia, but rather is Bretonnia itself. For without the lady, the lands and her people would be without purpose, a horse with no rider, a captain with no ship, and a sea with no wind. But is there a sinister undertone to the blessings of this divine being? Are her intentions truly for the peoples of Bretonnia? Or does she serve her own purposes, or worse yet, that of another being entirely? My name is Sol, and today we unravel the mystery of Warhammer's divine Lady of the Lake and her plan for the peoples of Bretonnia. With the coming of the old world in the new year, I thought now would be a great time to explore this topic for old and new fans alike. But before we begin, if you like this sort of video, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. Much of these lore videos come from various sources, from the Warhammer Wiki to the Warhammer books themselves, and it takes a lot of time to put them together, so all your support is greatly appreciated. Keep in mind that Warhammer lore is often highly contradictory, especially when it comes to the end times, so I'm bound to get something wrong. Should that occur, feel free to correct me in the comments below, and let me know your theories about the lady's role in the upcoming Old World. With that out of the way, let's continue. Now, I've given a general overview of the Lady of the Lake already, but what exactly is she? Now, prior to the end times or the death of Warhammer Fantasy, there was much speculation as to what or who the Lady of the Lake was in the lore. Some suspected she was a powerful wood elf, given that Bretonnia's realm sits near the wood elf-controlled forests, and that the lady's actions often resulted in, or indirectly led to, the peoples of Bretonnia defending Athol Loren, or the realm of the Wood Elves. But even at the time, many others argued that it was more likely she was some kind of god, seeing as her powers generally far exceeded that of a normal, even powerful elf. There is a case for the Fey Enchantress, the trainer of the Lady Sorceress damsels, being a wood elf, but it's never explicitly stated. While the Old World may very well redact a lot of this information, even if it does take place in the past in comparison to Warhammer Fantasy, we do know the answer to that mystery as of right now. In the end times, it was revealed that the Lady of the Lake was none other than Lilith, the elven goddess of the moon and prophecy. Seeing the end of the world close at hand, Lilith gifted her daughter the remainder of her divine power after battling with the chaos god Nurgle, cast her along with her father, the wood elf lord Alaroth, and the people of Bretonnia into a new realm of her own design known as the Haven. Basically an idyllic pocket dimension Valhalla-like place, where they were never seen again. Interestingly, none, not even Lilith, know whether they survived and lived somewhere beyond reach, or if they were consumed by chaos. I assume, like with most lost elf souls in the lore, they were eaten by Slaanesh. I'm sure Slaanesh picked the human bits out first, though. But before this, the lady revealed that she selected the people of Bretonnia as her followers because she was forbidden by the other gods from creating her own race in the old world, so she devoted herself to finding people worthy enough to defend the future elves of the new one, given the cyclical nature of each world's destruction. Basically, time is like a circle. At the end of each cycle, the world is destroyed and made new. So yeah, the Lady of the Lake's Grail Knights, hand-selected for their bravery and chivalry, were formed and pushed along on their journeys to be no more than security for elves. Now it's easy to think of the lady as a malignant figure to the peoples of Bretonnia given this information, but I think it's pretty obvious that without the lady, Bretonnia would never have flourished. Its people would never have been able to stand against the great odds in its many wars against orcs, the undead, elves, or even other men. Its kingdoms would never have prospered. Its knights, never the shining symbols all others could only hope to achieve. And it's also evident, at least in my mind, that although they were only selected to be basically super soldier meat shields at first, the lady did grow fond of the peoples of Bretonnia for their devotion to her and her mission. Why else would she have offered them aid so often if not out of love? Sure, the initial rationale is incredibly manipulative and pretty messed up, but it turned out alright in the end, right? Oh wait, Bretonnia isn't in the Age of Sigmar? Oh, but they're going to be in the old world. So that's good, right? Thank you guys so much for watching. I know this was kind of a short lore video. I didn't intend for it to be so short, but I wanted to make a little quick thing that you could consume really fast in case you were kind of curious about one of the more important figures to Bretonnia who seemed to be the poster child of the upcoming old world. As always, I'm Sol. This has been a Warhammer lore video, and I will happily see you in the next one.